Welcome, guys, to our Build the Legendary Knight Rider. Today's episode is 68, 69, and 70. We are going to be working on a really cool project. So, without further ado, let's get on started, guys. Starting off with issue 68, we're going to work on the outside of the door and get things a popping. So, without further ado, let's crack this sucker open and see what we can get done. Guys, so here it is. There's the door, our mirror, and our door handle, door catcher, some screws. Let's put this sucker together. I do want you to know that when you're done, there is a couple blemishes on here, but you can see yourself. But if you really wanted that finite look, you will need to wax the car at the end. When you're all done with the body and everything and you're about to place it on, you will need to wax it. Other than that, let's move on, guys. There it is, guys, for step one. The door handle is on. It came out looking really snazzy. I like the way it came out. Yeah, very impressed with how it all came out. All right. I don't like the fact that sometimes a little bit of it here looks a little dented. So I'm just going to loosen it up just a bit. Okay. All right. So there's that. All right. I've loosened it a little too much. Okay. And there we have it. Nice. So here we have it, guys. The QM screw. It's going to have a very flat head on it. And you're going to screw this in. And this is going to be the little piece that's going to connect to one of our Mike Lane mods upgrades that we have coming. All right. So you want to make sure this is pretty snug because remember, we still have the other half of the door coming onto here. And you don't want anything to kind of hinder that space. So you kind of want to keep it nice and flush, just like I have, because this is going to expand out so you can lock that door in. All right, so there's that all locked in, looking pretty sharp. I like the way it came out. Very impressed. I'm just going to go back a quarter of a turn, just a wee bit there. All right, now once that's done, we move on to step 3. So here is the rear view mirror. You gotta basically put the mirror piece in here. You might want to use a cloth to kind of push it in so your fingerprints don't get there. But you do see a little bit of yourself in the rear view mirror. It does have some reflective qualities to it. So now that's step 3. Step 4, we're just gonna basically take this and we're gonna put it inside, and it just locks right into place. And then once it's inside, that's where we grab another GM screw here, and we basically just screw that in. So there we have it, guys. Everything is put on right there for the door, and we've used all of our screws and everything. And like I said, you can see yourself, but you'll see all these like fingerprints and stuff. So if you really want to get rid of the fingerprints and really see that shine at the end, I would recommend waxing this, getting some wax stuff that you'd use on a car. Because it's the same concept, same stuff. But I mean, you can really see yourself in here, so it's really kind of cool. Other than that, guys, that's it for this stage. So let's move on to the next one. Here we have it, guys. Our next illustrious stage, stage 69. We're going to be putting in our window and the gears and the hinge. So without further ado, let's go ahead and put this door together. So a little surprise for us. We have our Mike Lane mods, self-adhesive door carpets, badges, and rear sail panel trims. The rear sail panel trims will come later. All right, but the door carpets as well will come later. But there is one component that we want out of here that will replace these cheap, flimsy pieces that'll scratch your window and all that. So we're gonna take it out, because all this really is, it's just a piece of tape. So if you really want that felt feel, go right ahead, but it's just this tape, and it just gets a small section of the window, and you don't want that. So with this, you get a big long strip that goes the whole length of the door, and it comes for each doors. You get all the paneling. Once again, I do want to warn you that the way the lighting is set up, it just looks a little different, okay? But I assure you that everything will be coming out just as it's supposed to when you see it with your own eyes on the right angle of lighting. We're going to bring back the door, real simple. I'll flip it over here on my nice little matted piece. Then we're going to take our other piece and we're going to go place it on. Just remember, you want that curved side, okay? The way you want it set up for that is you want that curved side to be outward, okay? So you're going to do it and have it nice and flat like this to where the holes are facing you and that curved side swoops away from the door. And the reason why you want it that way is so that way when you close the door, everything lines up. And then when you open it, it'll lock it into place, okay? So for now, I'm just going to take this, put it right on there, okay? And then you're going to take your NM screws that they gave us, and we're going to put them into these little slots here, which is right there. One little NM screw will hold it. With that piece all completed, everything, and it opens just the way it's supposed to. So it'll be like this, and then it'll open at the right angle that you need, so you don't need to worry about it. Of course, there's two strips that are going to go along here. Instead of doing these two strips, we have this nice felt strip that's going to go all the way across, just like so. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. And there it is, guys. And the only thing is that we have our window and the gears left over. One little screw here, but that's just a spare. So we're going to put that off to the side. Now, let's get on with stage 70 here. Our final stage for this video today. Whew. Okay, so here it is, guys. We are on stage 70. These are all the parts that are inside this package. We will not be using this piece. We'll not be using this piece, okay? We will be using the ones from the Mike Lane mods to complete this. We've also had that black strip, okay, which we will be using from the Mike Lane mod, so that way you have fabric on both sides to make sure that the window does not get scratched at any point. However, it doesn't show it in this one, but we will be using it because I like the little Mike Lane parts. So without further ado, let me go ahead, get everything out, and show you why we will not be using these that are coming with it. So real quick, guys, with this one here, stage 70 here, this is the door without all the stickies on it. These are the stickies that it came with. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I saw these stickies and I was like, nah, and did some research and found out that, we could put better ones on. I mean, these work great, they look great, but this to me feels like a Band-Aid. And this one to me feels like a Band-Aid. And then it goes in here. And lucky us, by the time I got this, Fanhome had already fixed the mistake, okay, by putting this and making it the right point. So I applaud them for making the fix, but still, I just was not impressed with how this looks. Because when you look at the Mike Lane one, look how that looks. It comes in really nice. I mean, it looked legit to me. So I enjoy it. So I got it. And I think it's a good choice that I picked. Okay? So for now, let's move on and do step 1. But for now, we're going to leave these off to the side because I'm not impressed with that. And we're going to get moving. Here's how it will look once we get the carpeting on. Now, of course, we'll be putting this carpeting on when it comes time. But I wanted you to see it already and to kind of see the idea of what it's going to be. There's also the Firebird logo that goes onto this, and I believe it goes into here. But I'm going to verify that before we go ahead and knock it. My black strip is on. Now, this one will not go all the way, so that's okay if you got a little bit of slack over here because it will overlap. All right, so it's no big deal. However, we'll move on. Our next phase now is to flip this over because we got to put the carpet in. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to knock out the carpet. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and place in our piece, which is right here. And then I'm going to place in our door handle on to our piece here, which then will lock into place, and then we're going to possibly be screwing that in. So I put in a BP screw. There's a little hole here. That's going to be for this that we're going to be putting on next. But the BP screw goes right up in here. This one just locks into place, that little black back piece. Then you slide this on, and you can see everything where it tells you lock, unlock. You can see that. See the handle here. I think it's coming out really good. All right. So now, of course, once we have that all screwed in, what they want us to do is put that black trim along here. That's this piece that's well protected through this plastic. Then after that, we're going to take our piece here and we're going to put that on. So it'll give it that nice little carpet look. Okay. Then after that, we'll go ahead and start putting on our door handle and the mechanical stuff to make the window go up. Voila! And there it is, guys. I put in our Firebird logo, or the logo for the Pontiac here. I put the logo there. I put our door handle in. All right. I put in all this. Okay. I put the carpeting in and everything. And when you go on the Mike Lane Mods, you'll see the door itself, and you're going to see how dark this part is really compared to what they gave us. And then this, a little note, they want you to paint this a certain tan color from Tamiya. I just left it in just to let myself know that these have aftermarket parts. All right. Of course, you at home with your own model, you can go ahead and do all that, but I didn't seem the need. I like the little silver trim. Kind of gives it a little distinct look to it. I think so. So we're just going to keep it, and I'm going to move on, and we're going to go grab these gears and put them in on the other side. So with all of our gears put in, everything moves nice and easy. I did a little test. You don't want the screws in too tight because then you're not going to be able to move that window freely. Okay. I did a pre-check on this. I did a pre-check on the other half of the door. Okay. So now we have to bring back our window, which is right here. And then when you place this in, you're going to use another DP screw. It's going to go right in here lined up with this. And then once you do that, now it's the tricky part where we take this panel and attach it to the actual door itself. And not sure where this piece goes, but I'm going to take a peek real quick and make sure, because I have a funny feeling this piece goes in here to either lock the door or some sort. But we're going to double check because it doesn't show us that we have a spare part. So there might be a step we missed, but we'll nip that in the butt real quick. So of course, here we go. This is a part we're going to have to hold. It says it in step 11 when you're testing the door window to make it go up and down when everything's connected. So we're going to wait on that one. I have a funny feeling because it's called a switch cover, I have a funny feeling that's what's going to cover our mechanism to let us know when the door is open and when the door is closed, so the interior lighting turns on, which is really fancy. And there we have it, guys. What a pain in the booty this was. Yikes, man. Wow. I don't know what this RM screws are for, but I'm a believer that we got to hold off on them because they're probably going to be for 71, which, if I'm correct, the RM are for these two slots right here. So that'll be covered in our next video. Our next video will be a standalone because we're going to be using two components that we're going to bring back one of them, and then this component we're going to add it to it, and I think it's going to really look really cool. But for now, this is it, man. This is it. This is the door with the window. Down here is where you lower it, and it took me a little trickery here to figure out how to get it to move nice and smooth, but I love it. It comes out nice and smooth. There was a slight gap right here. I'm just assuming things weren't lining up just all the way. I think so. You know, we'll get to that juncture later. But the window is fine. Everything works good. I'm very impressed with this, guys. So I can't wait to show you our next adventure here. We add this to the body of the car. Other than that, guys, I'm gonna get going and pretty much be in awe with how this door came out. I mean, jeez, I was really worried that it wouldn't come out right, but yeah, I'm very impressed. Okay, very impressed with it, and I can't wait to see the rest of the car. Other than that, guys, thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you on stage 71 on our next adventure here with Bill, the Night Rider Kitt.